All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle a huge question today. How do we actually know if something is true? You hear all these claims, but what's real? Well, there's a toolkit for that. It's called research methodology. And we're going to break down exactly how it works, step by step.
So let's just start with that fundamental question. How do you really prove something? You know, you're scrolling online, you see a headline making some wild claim. How do you know if it's legit, if you can actually trust it? Well, that's the exact problem research methodology was designed to solve.
See, it's not just about grabbing a bunch of facts and hoping for the best. That doesn't work. You absolutely need a plan. Think of it like this. A solid research plan is the blueprint for a skyscraper. It makes sure the whole thing's structurally sound, that it's reliable, that it's not going to just collapse. Without that blueprint, all you've got is a messy pile of bricks.
So what we're going to do now is walk through the actual journey a researcher takes. It's not just a boring checklist, you know? It's this really cool process that takes a simple question and turns it into an answer that's actually credible. It's the path from "I wonder if" to "here's what we know."
All right, so what exactly is research methodology? I mean, what's the official definition? Well, you can think of it as the entire rule book for a scientific investigation. It's the system, the framework, the structure that makes sure your results are valid, logical, and trustworthy. And here's the most important part. It's not just about what you find. It's all about how you found it. That's what gives it credibility.
Okay, so where does this journey even start? You might think it's with, collecting data or running an experiment, but nope, it actually starts somewhere much deeper. It starts with a researcher's worldview. Yeah, that's right. Before a single piece of data is collected, it all begins with their core beliefs about reality itself. This is the bedrock for everything else.
And to make this idea really stick, there's this fantastic analogy of a tree. I love this. Just imagine a giant tree. The worldview we were just talking about, that's the roots and the trunk. It's the deep, often hidden foundation that supports everything else, all the branches, the leaves, which represent the actual research and its findings. So let's start with the roots. They're called ontology. And look, I know that's a bit of a jargony word, but all it's really asking is a super simple question. What is the nature of reality? Is there one single objective truth out there for us to find? Or is reality more complicated, maybe something that's built and shaped by people and their perspectives? This single decision right here at the roots, it changes everything that comes after.
Okay, so once you've established the roots, the trunk grows right out of them. And the trunk is epistemology. It's another one of those academic terms. But again, the idea is simple. If ontology asks, what is real? Epistemology logically follows up with, okay, so how can we know about that reality? How do we even study it? You see how it flows directly from that first belief? And this all basically boils down to two main camps, or worldviews. On one side, you have positivism. A positivist believes reality is simple. There's one single objective truth out there. Think about the boiling point of water. It is what it is, right? You can measure it. It's a fact. But on the other side, you have interpretivism. An interpretivist would say, whoa, hold on. They believe reality is subjective, that it's constructed by us. You can't just slap a number on something like happiness or company culture. To understand it, you have to dig into the different and equally valid perspectives of the people involved.
All right, so our tree has its roots and its trunk. The foundation is set. Now we're ready to start growing some major branches. This is where we choose our research approach. And it's not some random choice either. The path you take is pretty much decided for you by the worldview you started with.
And really, there are three main paths you can go down. If you're a positivist, remember, the one single truth person, you're almost always going to go quantitative. You're going to use numbers, stats, things you can measure. But if you're an interpretivist, the multiple realities person, you'll lean towards a qualitative approach. You'll be working with words, interviews, observations, trying to get that deep understanding. And of course, sometimes you want to get the whole picture so you can mix them together in what's called a mixed methods approach.
Okay, we're getting closer. We've got our fundamental worldview, and we've picked our general path, quantitative or qualitative. Now we need the turn-by-turn directions. We need the detailed map for our journey. And that, my friends, is the research design. It is the specific, step-by-step blueprint of exactly what you're going to do.
Honestly, the best way to understand this is just to see it. So let's compare two totally different designs, one from the quantitative world and one from the qualitative, to see just how different these maps can look in the real world.
First up, a classic from the quantitative side, the experiment. Just listen to the words we use here. Control groups, manipulating a variable, measuring the outcome. It's all about control. The whole point is to isolate one tiny thing to see if it causes a specific effect. The goal is super precise, to prove cause and effect. Did A cause B? Yes or no?
Okay, now let's flip the script completely and look at a qualitative design, ethnography. This is the total opposite of control. It's all about immersion. The researcher literally goes and lives with a community or a group, sometimes for months or even years. They're not trying to measure a single variable. They're trying to understand the entire culture, the whole picture, from the perspective of the people living it. It's about depth and richness, not numbers.
So, we've gone all the way from these deep philosophical roots of reality right up to the specific map of a research plan. It's a lot, I know, but it kind of begs the question, right? Why go through all this trouble? Why does any of this matter? What's the big deal? Well, here's why it matters. This is the whole point. Everything has to connect. Your worldview has to logically lead to your approach, which has to logically lead to your specific plan. This chain of logic, this is what separates a real research finding from just, someone's opinion. It's what makes it credible. It's what allows someone else to come along, check your work, and build on it. Honestly, it's what makes research research.
And this quote really nails it. When you hear words like rigor, logic, reliability, don't let your eyes glaze over. They're not just fancy words for a paper. They're everything. This whole structured process is how we, as a society, figure out what's real. It's how we separate solid evidence from a story someone told their friend. It's how we build knowledge we can all actually count on.
So there you have it. That's the framework. And now that you know it, you can look at any study or news report with new eyes. You can see the choices the researchers made. But even more than that, you can start asking better, smarter questions yourself. We've given you the map, so the only question left is, what are you going to go discover?